class is second year political. Chapter name is Indian Parliament. And this class we are going to discuss about Lok Sabha. What is Lok Sabha? Lok Sabha is the lower house of the Parliament. It is also called as popular chamber. Why? Because Lok Sabha is the representation of the people of a state. Okay, hence it is also called as a popular chamber. Composition of the Lok Sabha. As per the Constitution of India, the maximum strength of the Lok Sabha, that means Lok Sabha is consists of 550. It shall not exceed 515. Among the 550, the members are belonging to the state and the union territories. At present, the Lok Sabha is consists of 543 members. Out of it, 524 members are belonging to the state, which means 524 members are elected by the states, and remaining 19 are elected from the union territories. And before, as per 144th Amendment Act, nomination of 2 Anglo-Indian members to the Lok Sabha down away. So before 104th Amendment Act, it was a convention, the constitutional convention, that the 2 Anglo-Indian members will be nominated by the President of India as the members of the Lok Sabha. But this was down away as per 104th Amendment Act. How the Lok Sabha members are elected? The members of the Lok Sabha are elected by the registered voters of the states and the union territories. The members of the Lok Sabha are elected by the registered voters of the state and union territories. And what is the procedure? What are the methods to elect the members of the Lok Sabha? It is a direct election. The Lok Sabha members are elected by the people directly through means of universal adult franchise. The members of the Lok Sabha is elected by the people directly by means of universal adult franchise. What is the universal adult franchise? Those who cross 18 years of age are called as adult or voters. Without any discrimination, those who cross certain age limit, that is 18 years, will participate in the electoral process of the Lok Sabha. What are the qualifications to be elected as a member of the Lok Sabha? The qualification, the member who is be elected as a member of the Lok Sabha must possess these qualifications. What are they? First, he must be a citizen of India. And secondly, he shall completed 25 years of age. Those who are completed 25 years of age are eligible to contest in the election. He must possess such other qualifications as prescribed by the Parliament from time to time. Okay, so as per the certain changes in the election process, the election qualifications, Parliament may adopt different various directions. Accordingly, the members who are going to contest in the election must possess these qualifications, which are prescribed by the Parliament from time to time. Every candidate, those who are contested in election, every candidate must pay 25,000 rupees as a security deposit. In case of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, it is fixed at 12,500 rupees as a security deposit. And as per the Representation of Peoples Act 1951, an affidavit furnishing their previous biodata of punishment, educational qualifications, assets, and the liabilities, etc., has to submitted by the candidate along with the nomination form. Next, oath. Oath is also called as affirmation. Every member, before taking their seats after the general election, every member after the general election, before taking their seat, he has to take or subscribe to an oath or affirmation before the president or any person appointed by the President of India for this purpose. Next, what is the tenure of the Lok Sabha? According to Article 83 of the Constitution, the tenure of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Okay, once they are elected, they will continue for 5 years. At the same time, Article 85 of the Indian Constitution also says that President of India can dissolve the Lok Sabha earlier, which means before completion of the 5 years of tenure. As per Article 85, the President of India can dissolve the Lok Sabha earlier on the written advice of the Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Okay, it is compulsory direction that President can dissolve the Lok Sabha on the written advice of the Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. At the same time, the tenure of the Lok Sabha also can extend. The tenure of the Lok Sabha also can extend. It happened in the year of 1976. Okay, in the case of emergency, either national emergency, constitutional emergency, during the time of emergency, again on the written advice of the Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister, President can dissolve the Lok Sabha before completion of their term. Next, sessions of the Lok Sabha. What is the meaning of, what is the session? Session is nothing but the meeting of the Lok Sabha. The date and the time of the Lok Sabha are determined by the President. The date and the time of the Lok Sabha are determined by the President. And according to the Constitution, the Lok Sabha shall meet twice in a year. Shall meet twice in a year. But there shall not be a gap more than 6 months between one session to another session, between the two sessions. Okay, as per the Constitution, the Lok Sabha shall meet twice in a year, and there shall not be a gap more than 6 months between two sessions. At present, the sessions of the Lok Sabha held thrice in a year. Okay, thrice in a year. These are held between the month of February and March. These sessions are called as budget sessions. And the second sessions are held between the month of July and August, which is called as monsoon session. And the last sessions were held between the months of November and December, which is called as winter session. This is about the sessions of the Lok Sabha. At the same time, President of India can call for a special meetings of the Lok Sabha. President of India can call for special sessions or meetings of the Lok Sabha when the foreign dignitaries visit India and the special occasions of Independence Day, Republic Day, or any emergency. This is about the sessions of the Lok Sabha. Next, what is the quorum? It implies, what is the quorum? It implies minimum number of members. Attendance is required for conducting the sessions of the Lok Sabha. What is the quorum? It's very important for 2 marks question that minimum attendance is required. The minimum number of members attendance is required for conducting the sessions of the Lok Sabha. It is called a quorum. Then what is a quorum? Quorum is fixed at 1/10 of the total members of the house. Okay, quorum is fixed at 1/10 of the total membership. Then there is a speaker who conducts the sessions of the Lok Sabha. There is a speaker. Okay. So the speaker of the Lok Sabha who conducts the sessions of the Lok Sabha. At the same time, there will be a deputy speaker also conduct the meetings of the Lok Sabha in the absence of the speaker. Okay. The office of the speaker in India is drawn from the British Parliament. That means the office, how to create the office of the speaker, what are the election method, okay, what are its powers and functions. These principles are drawn from the British Parliament. As per Article 893 of the Indian Constitution, the House of the People, after every general election, okay, as per Article 93 of the Indian Constitution, the House of the People, after every general election, what is a general election? The elections which are conducted for every 5 years. It is called general election. So in the first meeting of the House, the elected members of the Lok Sabha will elect a speaker and a deputy speaker from among its members. Okay. Once again, Article 93 of the Indian Constitution, the House of the People, after every general election, in the first meeting of the Lok Sabha, shall elect a speaker and a deputy speaker from among themselves, from among its members. So there is a tradition, convention that the speaker position, office of the speaker position will be given to the party in power and deputy speaker position will be given to the opposition party. In case of coalition, okay, the deputy speaker position will be given to the coalition party. Okay, next, what are the qualifications to be elected as a speaker of the Lok Sabha? A person elected as a speaker must be a member of the Lok Sabha. Okay, a person elected as a speaker must be a member of the Lok Sabha. What it means? He has to possess the qualification to be elected as a member of the Lok Sabha. That means he is compulsorily elected member of the Lok Sabha. Then among themselves, he will be elected as a speaker. What is the method to elect the speaker of the Lok Sabha? The members of the Lok Sabha elect the speaker from among themselves. The members of the Lok Sabha elect the speaker from among themselves. Okay. So Already just I mentioned that there is a constitutional convention that speakership is left to the party in power, and the deputy speaker, office of the deputy speaker is left to the opposition party. In the condition of coalition government, in case there is a coalition government, deputy speaker post will be left to the coalition party. Then, what is the term of office of the speaker? The speaker of the Lok Sabha normally holds his office for the period of 5 years. Okay, as the term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Okay, obviously the speaker of the Lok Sabha also continue for the period of 5 years. Okay, but he will continue in his office even after the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. Okay, the President of India can dissolve the Lok Sabha on the written advice of the Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. When the Lok Sabha is dissolved, okay, only membership of the Lok Sabha will be, the members of the Lok Sabha will be dissolved, not the speaker. Speaker will continue even after the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. Then what are the salaries and allowances of the Speaker of the House? The Speaker of the Lok Sabha receives a monthly salary of 4 lakhs per month. Okay, he receives a monthly salary of 4 lakhs. Before that, he is entitled to provide free residential house, free traveling, medical, other communication facilities, etc. also provided. So his salaries and allowances are paid from the Consolidated Fund of India. Okay. So removal of the speaker. The Speaker of the House may be removed from the office by a resolution of the House supported by majority of members present and voting. Okay, on the grounds of shown incapacity or misbehavior are not as per the proceedings of the House. Okay, based on such a dissolution will be introduced or supported by the majority members of the House present and voting. Okay, but prior 14 days notice must be given to him before introducing a resolution in the House. Prior 14 days notice must be given to him. Okay, so he does not participate over the sessions of the House when the session meet to be conduct debate on the resolution against by the Speaker of the House, but he can attend the session. Okay, and the previous point I said that 14 days prior notice must be given. Within the 14 days of time, he can prove that he did not done any wrong or misbehave or show incapacity. He can prove himself. If not, on the 15th day, then the resolution will be introduced in the House. Okay, when such a resolution is introduced in the House, he shall not conduct the meeting. Okay, there will be a deputy speaker who can conduct the session. Then let us see what are the powers and functions of the Speaker of the House. Okay, so the powers and functions of the Speaker, they are drawn partially from the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Parliament, Act of 1951. The powers and functions of the Speaker. Okay, these are drawn partially from the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Parliament, Act of 1951. Determine what are the powers and functions of the Lok Sabha Speaker. Then what are his powers and functions? Firstly, he presides over the meetings of the Lok Sabha. Okay, what is the first function of the Speaker is he presides over the meetings of the Lok Sabha. How he has to conduct the session? With dignity, discipline and decorum. Okay, he has to conduct the sessions of the House with dignity, discipline and decorum. And the Speaker of the House allows the member to ask questions, supplementary questions, okay, etc. He allows the member to ask a question. For that, he will allot the time to each member, okay, and he also has the power to disallow the member, okay, not to ask the questions or raise the questions which is not conformity with the rules of the House. Okay, see, he allows the member to ask the question. At the same time, he also has the power to disallow the member, okay, not to ask the question because it is not conformity with the rules of the House. Next, he has the power to introduce adjournment motion, okay, are removed with his consent. Okay, whenever the adjournment motions, hut motions are introduced in the House, okay, it should move in the House with the consent of the Speaker. Okay, at the same time, he also imposed time limit for the speeches on the motion introduced by the member. Okay, next, he appoints the chairman of the selection committee. He appoints the chairman of the selection committee. So, he himself will act as a ex officio chairman of the rules committee, business advisory committee and general proposed committee. Okay, he will act as a ex officio chairman. So, next, no member can address the House without his permission. No member can address the House without his permission. At the same time, no member can make an irrelevant speeches also. Okay. Next, the Speaker of the House has the power to preserve the order in the House. Okay, he has to maintain the first point we are discussed, that he has to conduct the sessions or meeting house of the House with decency, decorum and dignified. Okay, so as to he'll have control and he preserve the order in the House. In case the situation goes out of control, okay, then he can adjourn or suspend the House. Okay. If any member disregards his authority in spite of warning, okay, he can name him for suspension. If any member of the House, the member of the Lok Sabha, disregards the authority of the Speaker, in spite he gives warning, okay, then he has the power to name the particular person to suspend the particular person from the House. Next, the Speaker of the House can exercise his vote in case of a tie over a bill. Okay, so as we discussed in the before point, he gives permission to introduce bills in the House. Okay, and allow the members to discuss on this. After the discussion, he will conduct voting on the bill. Okay, if there is a tie arises in approving of the bill. Then Speaker can exercise his vote in case of a tie over a bill. Then according to his, based on his vote, okay, can decide the fate of the bill. Next, he presides over the joint session of the parliament. Okay, what is joint session? When it is held. Okay, so normally bills are introduced. Bills which are introduced in the parliament must be approved by both houses of the parliament. Okay, if one house is approval and send it to the second house for their consideration. Okay, the second house has a limit, 6 months of time to consider the bill. Within the 6 months, if the second house is not considered, okay, that means his agreement is arose between the two houses of the parliament, okay, in approval or considering the bill. Then to decide the fate of the bill by the majority of members, then President of India can call for the joint session of the parliament. When the joint sessions will be take place, the session must be conducted by the speaker only, not by the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Must be conducted by the speaker. That's why the speaker of the house decides over the joint session of the parliament. Next, he has the privilege to determine whether a bill is money bill or not. There are different types of bill, like public bill, private bill, money bill, and ordinary bill. Okay, whether bills are money bill or not will determined by the speaker.